can't see it on the surface. My pounding heart keeps me from falling asleep. After tossing and turning, I give up and decide to get up. It's pitch black outside. I can barely make out anything amongst the abyss around me. Couldn't sleep. A voice rings out from the darkness, giving me quite a scare. I turn in the direction of the voice, straining my eyes to make out something in the darkness of the night. Hey, did you hear me? Slowly but surely, my eyes become accustomed to the darkness. I can now vaguely make out a striking tinge of red in the moonless night. A Nike clad in entirely red regards me. You okay? Red Hood? That's my name, don't wear it out. I've been tossing and turning for a long time. So you're the type who can't sleep anywhere unfamiliar? Not exactly. I just can't sleep, that's all. You're not exhausted after walking such a long way. You must be in good shape. What about the others? Still asleep. Dorothy went out for a short walk. Don't worry about her, though. She's not in much danger. She's always wandering off on her own. Wanna stay with me? I move over and sit in front of Red Hood. An indistinct red flash is still all I can make out. Let's see here. How about we make a fire? Raptures can pick up heat signals. Don't worry, I got your back. Red Hood gathers up some kindling and lights a small fire. Our immediate surrounding is now tinged with a fiery red hue. The flames also illuminate Red Hood's features. Much better. This really takes me back. When I was young, maybe later on. At any rate, I used to camp a lot. I traveled all over the land, camping in any kind of place you could imagine. I believe you. After all, the goddesses distinguished themselves all the way back during the first Rapture invasion. So you've heard of us. Of course, who hasn't? You make it sound like we're famous. You are, and the Arc Goddess Squad is stuff made of legend. For all you've done for us. I'd wager most people in the Ark have heard of your name, as well as the majority of Nikes. You being for real. Have they adapted our story into movies or books? Well, not yet. See? I hardly say we're mythical figures. Information on individual members may be scarce, but you're all renowned as a singular unit. What the? How long have you been awake? Just now, woke up to all the noise. Sorry. Don't worry about it. It's actually pretty calming listening to your voice. As for the other one, your share is a train whistle. Hey, I like my voice, thank you very much. Anyways, can you elaborate on what you were saying? About us being famous as a team and all that? How should I put it? The Nikes and the Goddess Squad are regarded as heroes who saved humanity from the Raptures. They're our guardian angels. That's why we should always be grateful and show them the proper degree of respect. Something like that. Goddess of Victory statues are all over the Ark. accommodations are held very often. But at the same time, no one knows who is in the goddess squad, nor the specific actions they took upon to save us. In any sense, the goddess squad is more symbolic than anything. The lack of information even makes some people wonder if you all truly existed, but those with sheer common sense know in their hearts you did amazing things. So we're halfway to become legends, is more like it. In a way, I suppose, yes. Everyone knows who you are, but no one knows the details of what actually transpired. And how did you know I was part of a goddess squad, handsome? I've heard your name quite often. What? You just said people don't know the details. How? Oh, let me guess. Rappy? No, I've heard your name from the other goddesses. We've crossed paths with them a few times now. Snow White, Rapunzel, Scarlet, all of them. What? What's happening? Sorry, just got freaked out for a second. Huh? What shocked you? It's not gonna scare me too, is it? I'm just taking back to the fact you guys all know Sanctus and Swordsman. Who? She means Snow White, Rapunzel, and Scarlet. Oh, them? Yeah, we're best buds. Super tight. I don't know about that one. We hang out with them way more than the other Nikkeis, don't we? I guess you're right. Are they doing okay? Doing fine. Last we've seen them. Stop. I don't need you to tell me. So you don't know our full story, do you? Alright, gather around, all you. I'll tell you about how amazing the goddesses were. Have any of you heard of the Grimm's models? A few times, yeah. But it doesn't sound like you're overly familiar with them, no? Only names, nothing more. Oh well. They could almost be considered the first Nikkeis. Why almost? Weren't they the literal first batch? Because the true prototype is someone else. I don't know if it's appropriate to consider her a Nikke though. I feel like if it had to be I feel like you would have to come up with another word to do her justice. Anyways, the Grimm's models are Nikkeis produced using technology from that prototype. But what wasn't obvious enough from the name, the gilding theme of this series was fairy tales. Why fairy tales? Can't remember exactly, but I seem to recall it having something with them like a fairy tale ending. I'm lost. Fairy tales usually have happy endings, so maybe the scientists thought it would be appropriate to call you guys that? And that would be my best guess. Anyways, the Grimm's models were produced with all kinds of different technologies, so it was difficult to find suitable candidates. But in the end, they managed to scurry up enough to make a team. They would be considered more or less the original Nikkeis. Well, the teams of the Grimm's models is what we know as the Goddess Squad. What do you think about that? Does our origins make us sound super cool? Original Nikkeis, suitable candidates. All of those great buzzwords just oozing with awesomeness. What did you all do before the transformation? Come again? You said it was hard to find eligible candidates. What criteria did you have to meet? I'd heard it was nothing special. Apparently, you just had to meet all of the physical requirements. Wow, so you guys really didn't have much in common? Nope. We were all from all walks of life when we were humans. So unsurprisingly, we often got on each other's nerves at first. We'd argue about who's stronger, how to do things, whether to go right or left at a crossroads. We had conflicting views on about everything, ranging from big to small. In our defense, we were often dealing with matters of life and death, so that made sense why our emotions were running high. Thanks to Boss and Lilith, though, we usually pushed through it. Still, I could never claim that we were on good terms with each other then. Eventually, a new member, Swordsman, joined us. How the heck did that come about? Me and Scarlet? Yeah, her. So Scarlet was the last to join? Yeah, Lilith brought her in. From the very start, she was the real deal. She's not a Grimm's model, and Lilith brought her from the foil without telling us in advance. Scarlet isn't a Grimm's model? Nope. She's from a squad of select mass-produced Nikkes who specialize in melee combat. He underwent a whole lot of modifications, though, so the point she was hardly considered a mass-produced model. Dang. I would never expected that. Anyways, her arrival only made the bickering among us worse. Just think about it. A swordsman joining a squad where everyone else uses firearms? It's practically like adding fuel to a fire. Oddly enough, though, it's precisely at that time that everyone started to get along with each other. Huh? Really? I don't know what specific incident was the turning point, but everyone just started taking it easier on each other. Out of the blue? No actual reason? Yep. Actually, looking back on it, things seemed to improve remarkably after we met refugees on the way back from the battlefield. They were all broken down and thanked us profusely, calling us Mankind's last hope. The whole encounter only lasted probably 20 seconds, 30 at tops. But if you ask me, that's when things took a change for us. It made us understand what we were doing, and the difference that our actions could make. And who we were. Anyways, after that, the Goddess Squad became more of a coerced unit. From that moment on, we began to make big moves. And let me tell you, when I say big, I mean enormous. Well, get on with it. Tell us. During the first Rapture invasion, the humans were completely outgunned. They were utterly defenseless. They poured all their manpower and resources into the war. Didn't manage to score a single victory. It was truly an age of despair in every source of the word. Then, out of the terrifying anguish came a savior, or saviors. Before involvement, Raptures were regarded as an unstoppable force, something that you couldn't possibly fend off. Everyone spent their days running, always running. They gave up all notions of fighting. But when we appeared, tides began to turn. We started winning against the Raptors, defeating an enemy that once seemed invincible. Could you imagine the people reacting to us then? They probably lost their minds. Completely. They showered us with fancy titles, the goddesses of victory, mankind's last hope. Every time we strided into battle, victory was assured, and totally. Upon our return, they were always hundreds of thousands of people lining up the streets to welcome us. Scrumptious banquets, bouquets of flowers, celebrity music, heartfelt letters, excited handshakes, tender embraces, and tearful confessions of thanks. They all thanked us for fighting on mankind's behalf. It really felt nice. But there's only a handful of you. No matter how strong each of you were, there was no way a few nakaes could turn the entire war around. Precisely. It didn't matter how we improved on the battlefield. There was no way we could wipe out all the Raptures in the world. But all the same, our abilities to beat the Raptures reinstalled hope against the united forces of humanity and gave them the courage to fight once again. They spared no expenses investing in weapons designed to terminate Raptures. They braced themselves for a deadly confrontation with the mortal enemy. A world that had been on the blink of giving up was now standing up and reignition in its struggle against the deadly forces. Yes, there was a few of us, and yes, it was unrealistic to expected to serve a role beyond being an icon. But that was enough. As long as we lived, as long as we were still winning, the people in the world would have to strike the fight another day. That's why we were called the goddesses of victory. We changed the world. Ooh, that's a good line. I gotta remember that one. Must have been really hard for you. It was. Because we had to win. Failure was not an option, under any circumstance. So we fought with everything we had. Even then, I say you succeeded. You saved mankind and the entire world from the brink of destruction. Yeah, thanks. Ever since I became an EK, fighting is all I've known. It's the same story with the others as well. We had to kiss our hobbies goodbye. Assembling models, going to a sun-filled stroll with a parasol, reading, going fishing, listening to music. All those things became things of the past. We fought with humanity with everything we had. Of that, there was no doubt. It was the only thing to occupy our time. It consumed us, and we all believed we were doing the right thing. History has proven we were correct in that feeling. So, I suppose we were happy then. I went from being a street punk to an honorable hero who fought the masses. I met all sorts of great people. Anyways, we were eventually assigned a part of the defensive operations in the Ark. I only participated in a bit of the initial stages. However, due to personal reasons, the world in the Ark is safe. Is that not true? Tell me about it. The Ark? Well, first off, it's gotten a lot of people in it, and it's super noisy. It's crowded even when there's nothing going on. And it's gotten worse whenever an event is being held. You barely have the room to stand. That's why I've been practicing throwing people over my shoulder. Seriously? That honor of a joke made you laugh? Since there's so many people around, you're always meeting interesting people. And from all walks of life, too. Generally speaking, I would say in the Ark lives a decent life. People at least don't go hungry, which can't be said about the Outer Rim. There are buildings everywhere, with skyscrapers as far as the eyes can see, and people going in and out of them. Ooh, and there's a bunch of trains. It's fun riding the rails and getting your mind wander, and letting your mind wander. The best thing of all is the internet. It's blazing fast. You can do anything on it. You can even spend the whole day inside and never get bored. Let's see, what else did I miss? Oh, and food. There's an artificial food called splendiment, which can be processed in all kinds of flavors. Opinions on it are mixed, but I personally love this stuff to death. What about music? There are lots and lots of singers, some of them who are Nikkeis. Wow. So, I think it's fair to say that the Ark is a nice place. Your friend over here seems to think differently. Me? Yeah, you. Well, come on, tell me. How do you feel about the Ark? Its infrastructure is remarkable. That's for true. It is designed to handle all kinds of dangerous jobs, so it's safe as well. The humans who live in there are just the worst. Denise. It's okay, go on. No one knows about the future. All they want to do is waste time doing inferior activities. They spend their days aimlessly running around the streets after getting rip-roaring drunk. They turn a blind eye to any crimes they witness. No one cares about their fellow man, and their humanity is gone out the window. They believe money is a cure for all problems. The cruelest irony of all of it, time and time again, is reality has proven them correct. I see none of the positivity aspects of human nature on display. If someone shows some sort of weakness, the others pounce on them or ostracize them. When they think they're superior to others, they become exceedingly cruel. To me, there's a dark side of the arc. We haven't known each other too long, but I can imagine you're not much like those people you just described. No, because I don't want the same thing in life as they do. There must be a lot of people who feel the same as you do. Maybe. But, if I'm honest, what makes me so different? I'm just like them. Another no one trapped inside the ark who can't do anything. I think I understand now. It's just an ordinary living space like any other. There's positive and negative aspects. Any place filled with enough people end up being like that, don't you think? I guess so? So do you think the ark has any value? Oh, come on, don't clam up on me now. Don't you think the ark is worth risking our lives to protect? Is it worth continuously fighting for? Go on, answer her, niece. Yes, it has value. It has its merits, but also its dark side. But it's the perfect place to live in, which we call home. That alone makes it worth protecting. Your accomplishments mean nothing in vain. Your protection is something valuable. We're doing the very same thing. Great. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. The sound of wood burning in the bonfire is all that can be heard. Red Hood sits looking into the firelight, her face illuminated by the dancing flames. The flickering of the flames rendered her expression somewhat inscrutable, but I think she's smiling. Even though I'm here only to borrow Rapti's body, I'm still glad. I'm just glad it panned out. I've cleared up a lot of things. Sorry, but I need a few minutes to myself. Red Hood slowly gets up and starts walking off. You should go talk to her, Commander. Alright, I'll be right back. I stand up and try to catch up with Red Hood. What's on your mind? Nothing in particular. Just how, despite everything that happened, I finally did it. And how I should feel relieved. Something like that. But I still... No, nothing. Noah's become the best survivalist who's able to eat anything. She doesn't talk much, and she's pretty rough around the edges, but she's completely reliable. Hold up, handsome. Let's not talk about. She saved my life on several occasions. She's a natural leader, someone that makes you feel safe when she's around. You mean Snow? That little twerp? No kidding. Rapunzel is tender and kind, but her jokes can cross the line on occasions. What jokes? The ones of lewd natures. So she came over to the dark side after all. I knew it. She's got a real knack for it, doesn't she? Scarlett's become a full-blown ooze hound. Her? Not a adrenaline junkie? She loves nothing more than sit under the moon with a nice stiff drink. She also does field work. What's that all about? It practically sounds like a hipster. When did she get into all that? I don't know how any of them were in the past, but I do think they all made those changes in order to live a better life here and now. Are they happy? Yeah, they're all really good. That's great. I miss them a lot. I really do. What I'd give to see them, even now. Did I try to contact them? You can do that? Can't guarantee it'll succeed, but I can certainly try. Nah, forget it. I think it's better not to. It can cause my resolve to waver. Don't you want to see them? More than anything. But I wouldn't do that. I know better than anyone how good it is to be alive. So I have to make sure Rappy lives on. Rappy is learning how to enrich her life. She's living on. My life has been colorful enough already. My Rappy deserves a fair shake at getting to experience the joys of life, doesn't she? She does. Thank you. What are you thanking me for? Same goes for you, handsome. You need to live on. It's good to be alive. Sure. I will.
Live long. Being alive is a blessing. I'd love to hear any music recommendations you have.